Good evening. The time is now 6:33. We do now have a quorum for our meeting this evening. Welcome to the April 15th Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting. Mr. Vice Chairman.
Good evening. Thank you for those who are joining us. First order, we'll call roll. Phil?
Present.
Joey?
Present.
Jamie?
Present.
And Esteban and Sean Michael not here today, as well as Chairman Scott not here today. We'll stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag. All right, we will give you a minute here to look over the minutes from the February 18th meeting and see if there was anything that needs to be changed there. And we'll take a motion to approve if there's no changes or edits.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from February 18th.
Motion by Phil,
I will second that motion.
second by Jamie. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Approved. No, any public comment? Tom?
We do have a few folks joining us on Zoom.
Hold on, we need to approve today's.
Oh,
minutes
yes.
And the previous minutes.
Sorry, we need to approve the agenda. Thank you, Joey. We'll approve the agenda for tonight. Has everybody looked at that? And if there's anything that we need to move?
Make a motion to approve this evening's agenda for April 15th.
Motion by Phil,
I second that.
second by Jamie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Now we'll look for public comment.
If anybody joining us over Zoom has public comment, you should be able to unmute yourself. If you're having trouble, you can also chat. I can unmute you. I don't believe we have any public comment, Mr. Vice Chairman.
Outstanding, thank you. Committee reports, anything on Hopewell? I know that Michael's not here. Anything from the staff?
They're coming out of spring break. Everything's moving smoothly. No real earth-shattering news for this month compared to previous months.
Very good. Joey, Eagle Sticks?
Nothing new in specific, nothing specific to Eagle Sticks. We're very close to the end of the season, just like you, Ed, and just like the boys are. And I think coming up at the beginning of May is their playoffs for their select.
Yeah.
And then, we're still working on, conversation for next spring. And we can talk about that another time, but no, nothing new.
Very good. NAFL? Probably a pretty quiet time
No,
for them.
no report. They started taking registration in the beginning of March, and I do know that I did hear that the numbers are looking good,
Oh, good.
but it's still early.
Halftime, there's no update there for me. Swim, do we have signs out at Bell Memorial?
Swim team has very, very high registration right now. There are over 180 kids for the Milton Mustang swim team.
Excellent.
So I actually spoke with Stephanie Minette earlier today, and we're looking at how to accommodate that many kids. We'll be able to, but it's a high number and very well.
That's awesome.
That's a
great.
good problem to have.
Can I add something to that real quick?
Yeah.
We may need to discuss at some point, because the parking is going to go into the neighborhood next to it. They've got the path blocked off right now. That might need to be addressed before they get going, because otherwise they're walking all the way back up the highway and then in. So I'm sure you're already aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good news.
The
tennis.
pool has also been uncovered, and we're working towards getting that in shape for the season. And the swim team also had their swimsuit fitting in the last several weeks. So,
When is the pool scheduled to open?
Tom, do you have that date?
The Saturday of Memorial Day,
29 to 30.
28th or 29th?
Yeah, something like that.
Great.
Tennis?
Tennis numbers are high as usual. Program's going great. They are a little different than our typical spring season. I'll be collecting their data for their spring season, I believe mid-May is what I anticipate to get their data. So they're a little askew as compared to other athletics, but Terry's doing a great job over there. Courts are always full. Rentals are doing great. They're filling in the spaces. So tennis is definitely operating, at a premium as usual.
Excellent. Good. Arts program?
So for arts and adult, I'm hoping someone can give me a point of contact. I have not reached out to anyone just because I don't know who to reach out to. So if you guys could kindly provide me a point of contact for each, I'm happy to reach out here in the coming days or week to create that.
Absolutely. I can definitely provide you some context. But as far as our art programming, our Tai Chi is continuing with success there. We're going to have some change in leadership over there as far as our instructors, but that's nothing to worry about. Everything is still running smoothly as far as operating. Our dance class will finish their 10-week session, their spring session 1 in May, and then we'll do 8 camps in June with registration already open. So we're looking for a good push for them in June. We've also recently opened photography programming. They offered quite a few classes and had some great success with their spring break camp as a new program. So they actually had put together a video. We shared that on Facebook. And then they're coming back with additional classes and summer camps as well, which we're already seeing registration come forward with that. So they've been an awesome new program that a lot of people are very excited about, and we're very excited to have them. That is the Photo Creative, is our photography camp or photography provider rather.
Thomas, how are we socializing these programs? Other than, I assume it's all on our website, are they doing their own self-advertising just to drive awareness sort of thing?
So they do their own marketing on their end, and they also share their marketing materials with the city.
Yeah.
And we link up with our communication department here in the city and team up and kind of hit it from all angles.
Social media and the like.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Facebook is our main source of marketing as far as from a city standpoint, and they do their own, a lot of I guess you could just say boots on the ground, flyers, and they're really, especially our photography program has been very proactive in getting the word out, especially as a new program. So we found a lot of success for them. And like I said, it's very exciting for us.
Are we on Instagram also? Okay, because I know the younger people tend to go there versus
Yes.
us old people that go to Facebook.
Yeah, the city does have an Instagram account as well.
That explains why I don't have Instagram.
Exactly.
I don't either. So But I think
what's your excuse?
we're hitting it from all angles.
Good, good. That's great.
And Tom, I don't think I missed anything in regards to arts for right now. We do have some upcoming summer programs as well. I failed to mention them, but Bach to Rock will be back this summer. That's our
Okay.
music program. So they'll be offering 2 summer camps or classes, if you will, here on City of Milton facilities. One, I think they're both at Bethwell Community Center, and also Challenge Island is coming back, and that's our STEAM program. They'll be offering here at Community Place right across the way, and at Bethwell Community Center as well. So those are all up online for the most part, and registration will be open for the upcoming days. But we're all working together to get it up, get it online, and continue that marketing process with all those guys. So arts is coming back to life. Obviously we were kind of halted with COVID, but it's all coming back to life, and we're very excited to continue to get the word out there, and hopefully we can get them up and running just like our photography program is. Just need a little push from everybody. So, but we
Is
are
there-
doing good.
Is there not like a Milton Arts Council or something to that effect? There is, right? Are we heavily engaged and involved with them, sort of thing, or informally, formally?
I have a meeting with them tomorrow morning.
You do? Oh, good. Good. Okay. Just any guidance you guys can provide me in terms of outreach and like who I should talk to and again, develop relationships with? If you can help guide me there, that would be helpful.
We'll do that. We're looking to see what we can do together on that front.
And Jamie, if you're bored, I don't see your name listed anywhere.
You're not supposed to mention that.
Missed that first meeting. She didn't.
Oh, darn.
We assigned
You
everything to
timed that
Joey.
perfectly, Jamie.
We signed everything to Joey
Whatever's
at that point.
complete, you can put my name there.
I said, but all kidding aside, if you want to sit in on any of these, you're more than welcome
I
to
do, actually.
hop in on
Yeah, I feel
arts and adult
lost,
programming and.
alone.
And you know what I think I can do, Mr. Kramer, is start adding you to some of my emails back and forth to them, and that'll get you
Sure.
kind of brought up to speed with just some of my back and forth, as the program supervisor,
That'd be great.
our ins and outs and everything from what they want to offer to how I put it online. And then once their registration starts kicking in, you can see that as well. So
Perfect.
it'll, definitely bring you up to speed and everything. And obviously I'm a point of contact as well. So
Yeah, sure. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course.
Excellent. Moving along, unfinished business. The possible MOU with the city of Alpharetta.
All right, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the advisory board. I've been in discussions for many months now with the city of Alpharetta as to a way for our two cities to partner again where it makes sense for both cities. Last month, I met with Mr. Rogers and director over there, and we came up with this idea of an MOU between the cities where these 3 programs there'd be a Parks Without Borders, essentially. Residents of each city would be considered residents both ways. And those 3 programs were football, softball, and then our special needs summer camps that we both run over the summer. Football made sense because we have the same program provider that offers football for both cities. That being said, the residency in football is heavily favored towards the Milton side. There's more Milton residents that participate overall in NFL. So the way currently things are, out in North Park has 2 turf fields there. We have our 1 field at Bell. And so 2 fields at North Park are reserved in the fall for football, and we have 1 at Bell that's reserved for the football program. because there's more Milton residents than Alpharetta residents, their thought was, well, if you could host with 2 fields at Milton, then this makes sense. And in turn, they're going to throw softball in there as another program that is also has a lot of Milton residents in as another program that makes sense. Then the special needs aspect just flat out makes perfect sense because we offer a special needs camp in the summer that goes ages 13 to 22, and they offer a camp that goes 6 to 12. And we communicate constantly between our 2 programs. Our program was started to take those kids after they had finished up with Camp Happy Hearts over in Alpharetta. And the residency is the number of residents that use each program is close. In this proposed MOU, there would be no tracking of the fees that were not collected, and there would be no reimbursement to one city or the other. It would just be an agreement that just allowed these families to participate in the other city without non-resident fees. I'm here to get recommendations as to thoughts on this. A motion one way or the other would be nice. It is going in front of Alpharetta's Rec Commission as well this month.
We're talking about which 2 fields though? Not both Bell, we're talking about Bell and
Another field.
another field, right?
Another field to be determined, or,
I'm thinking Cox Road.
right, okay. Well, that's good progress. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's excellent.
I mean, my 2 cents is that's the progress we've been hoping to make, right, since the doing away with the old MOU. So, yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. I think that's a step in the right direction. It makes sense for both Milton and Alpharetta residents. Administratively, no burden on you guys, no tracking of anything, right? Just open borders. Yeah, I think it's great.
I would concur with that. I think we had talked about this, I guess, February. At least had the initial conversations. I think it's excellent work by you guys to get this moving forward. So I think it's great. I think it's a win-win for everybody, good for our citizens. And it's the first step to hopefully opening up bigger conversations.
Is this something that needs to be brought to city council then? Yeah.
It would be, yes.
Unless there's an objection, I'll make a motion to put forth a recommendation to council to engage in a MOU with the city of Alpharetta regarding football, softball, and special needs summer camps.
Motion by Mr. Kramer. Do I get a second?
I will second that.
Second by Jamie. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion approved.
Is the plan then, so that would be the starting point, which is excellent, and then eventually other sports and activities? Because I don't think we have pickleball.
No, we
pickleball.
don't. Not at this
I
time.
don't know why I'm focused on that, but
Yeah. And if it was that easy, I could put pickleball courts out at the country club, but we used grant money to surface them, and actually part of the grant is you must only keep tennis lines,
Yeah.
courts. So I actually can't, or I would have to repay the grant money.
How long is
But-
that for?
5 years, or 4 more.
Thank you, sir.
So 4 years, we got it done.
And yes, there is a potential moving forward where it could expand. It's just hard to make it where benefits both cities. We're starting with these because they're
It makes sense.
the
Low-hanging
they're the
fruit.
low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And you get into some other programs that for Alpharetta to make that deal, it doesn't make a lot of sense for them. It's very heavily one-sided.
Well, that's good. It's a start.
Great. The Junior Parks Ranger Program.
All right, the Junior Parks Ranger Program was brought to you, in front of you, was in 2020, near the end of 2020. We got Miss Emily Groth on board here in February, and this happens to be her wheelhouse. So she has taken ownership of this program, and I'm going to turn it over to her. Let her tell you a little bit of what she has in mind, and once again, we're just looking for some guidance here on how we could move forward with such a program.
Yeah, so just a little bit before we kind of dive into it, a little bit of a recap if you were there for the first discussion of this, or if this is all new to you. Just in general, what junior park ranger is kind of can mean different things at many different parks, but most of the time you're looking at something that would be similar to like the National Park Service model, which is, you know, kind of more self-service, and it gets kids and families out to parks, and it gives them something to do if they're not super comfortable with just, you know, hiking out on a trail by themselves. So in general, it's just all about getting them involved in parks and kind of giving them, you know, a more of a guided tour through what you want to focus on, whether that be trails, plants, and different activities. So in general, there's just a couple different models, and the National Park Service one is the most familiar. The Georgia DNR, Department of Natural Resources, has one for the state parks as well, and that one's very similar. And so the two big ones across the country are just kind of, they get you into the parks and they give you something to do, but it's more of kind of like a self-guided idea. And this is all kind of to, you know, spark engagement in the natural world and get kids involved at an early age, and spark passion for land conservation and things like that. So it can be pretty transformative at a young age. But again, with the National Park Service, it's called Junior Park Rangers, but I know specifically for National Park, they include all ages. I think one of the oldest rangers that's been on a couple newspapers has been a woman who's like 101 years old. And so people get really passionate about it, try to go to all parks and do all the activities there and collect all the national park badges. But that's kind of an overview of what it can be. And I thought a little bit about diving more in depth with what we can do here at the city. So the picture on the left is a sign out at Birmingham Park. So there's a handful of those signs on the yellow trail out there. And those are commonly called like interpretive signs or environmental education signs. And so we could do something with that, kind of make a self-guided Birmingham Park environmental education trail, and utilize that QR code that's in the top right corner of that sign, because I don't think we have anything interactive out there yet. And then on the right is Dekalb County. They just implemented a junior park ranger, and they have it kind of all fleshed out. And so that's kind of the most local that I can get, that's kind of already established. And so in general, it's just, again, those self-guided things. So what I was thinking, if we wanted to model it similar to what's already out there, it would just be along the lines of scavenger hunts, activity books, kind of collect them all, searches and badges. And that would be kind of self-guided or with families. And you could post that on the city website, or leave it at different parks, physical booklets or downloadable packets. And that's just kind of, you know, getting families and kids out there in the parks. And then I think the coolest part of all this is the crown jewel to become the ranger is to meet with leadership at the park. So typically that's a park ranger at the National Park Service, and the kids take an oath and they get to wear a hat and kind of shake the park ranger's hand and complete the whole process. And so that would be something that we could incorporate, maybe City of Milton Fire or police or City Hall leadership to kind of send them on their way after they've completed different activities throughout the park. So that would kind of be the different steps through the self-service model. And then something a little bit different that would be similar to like a new program would be definitely more engaged, and that would require hiring staff and creating it as an entirely new program. It could involve registration, guided hikes led by staff. But I was thinking, just brainstorming, calling it the Milton Muirs, named after John Muir. He's the guy there on the right. He was pretty transformative in creating the National Park Service. He's there seen with Teddy Roosevelt in Yosemite National Park. And he was a Scottish immigrant from the 1800s, and he did a lot of work to create Yellowstone. And he's known for the quote, "The mountains are calling and I must go." So if you're not familiar with him, he's definitely a celebrity in the natural world. And so we could do kind of the self-service model that's already kind of out there. We could do a City of Milton programming and hire like a ranger, or, make it more daily engage in registration and groups and classes, environmental education classes. And then there's also the opportunity for partnerships. So John Muir actually founded the Sierra Club a long time ago. I can't remember the date. I think it was early 1900s. And so there's a Georgia chapter of the Sierra Club. And so that's kind of would be the namesake of this whole program, named after John Muir and what he was able to do. But some of the partnerships could be with the Georgia chapter of the Sierra Club. Leave No Trace is a big national organization. They have 7 Leave No Trace principles, and that can be incorporated into different classes. But it's like 7 tips and tricks that you can just rattle off as far as what to do for trails and trash. And they host city partnerships that you can get posted on their website. I actually know City of Woodstock is partnered with Leave No Trace currently. So that kind of could be an option as far as like national partnerships. And then more locally, I know we do a lot of work with scout programs and getting them volunteer hours, or helping them complete projects. So that could kind of be roped into getting them leadership practice with mentoring youth rangers. And then also working with Georgia State Parks. The 2 closest ones are Red Top Mountain and Sweetwater Creek, both about 45 minutes away. And then there's also a National Park Service system that oversees part of the Chattahoochee River over in Roswell. And so that would be the closest for National Park Service. And then within Milton, maybe trying incorporating something with our summer programs, Camp Joyful Souls, taking them out to get certified as a park ranger. So there's a lot of different options. New program or kind of self-guided. Of course, that would kind of involve different costs. If it was self-guided, it would be low budgeted supplies. And then if it was a new program, that would kind of require a few more steps. But I think that's kind of the gist of what I was thinking. But if you guys have any questions or notes or need more clarification, I'm happy to provide that.
So you said either a self-guided, working with another program like National Parks or Boy Scouts, or you mentioned another one, or starting our own program.
Yeah, those would kind of be just the 3 general routes that you could go.
Just curious, Tom, how in adding staff, is that possible? Or is that in the?
I believe it would be unlikely for a program such as this
Right.
at this time.
Right.
What I would be, so obviously the free program or the, self-guided is easy, and we should move with that quickly. I'd also be interested in if there's the ability to do, whether it be a summer camp where, hey, it's how to read a park's map and the topography of it, and, using GPS and that type of stuff. Whether it be a week and then, they take them out to the parks and they walk and they do things. Or if it was even something that was more long-term, that there was a provider that people could sign up and, you know, they meet every Saturday or, you know, they meet once a week or whatever the case is, similar to a normal part, what we would consider a normal, program provider, right? Someone that would do something like that to, you know, equate kids to the outdoors and, it wouldn't all have to be out there. There's lots of things just to your, obviously you have some of the history there. They could do some of that. How to read maps is a skill they probably should teach in school. Less so now, but I was around before GPSs were
Turn
in
left,
everyone, huh?
100 feet, turn left on the red trail.
I was there when you had to have a map. And if you didn't have a map,
We could have used
Need a
that in
compass
the
anymore.
woods.
Who would be that resource, though? Like, who would facilitate that?
I don't know how, I don't have that question.
Yeah.
I
I just think budget constrained, resource constrained.
So I'm thinking more, this is a little bit longer term, I guess.
Gotcha.
And thinking that it would be, look at a program provider, that could do some of these
program
things.
provider, Yeah.
And run it as something that people pay for and come to, right? Like, I think there's some,
Is that what you said? when you were-
between, I guess, there's probably something that people would like to do between Boy Scouts and nothing, right? If you think of Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts,
Yeah.
that they do a lot more of that outdoor stuff, right? I want to learn, it'd be good to
I think
do that.
there's
Um,
opportunities to bring in experts. So we
Yeah.
could bring in a foraging expert who can teach the children about what to eat that you can find in the forest.
Yes, yeah.
What you can't eat, what's medicinal. Could bring in someone who can talk about nature, different animal species. So it doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah.
And it still gets people really excited about nature,
Yeah, I think
you know.
to kind of just, if we want to get rolling on this, it would be more internally developed and more self-guided, or that would be kind of the more short-term and cheaper route. And that would reflect what's across all of the national parks.
And, maybe even as a first step, as part of the initial park ranger being a self-serve thing, is we just provide some additional resources to, hey, here are the great hikes of Georgia and, even places around here. Here are a link to the wildflowers or wild berries that you can eat here are the ones you shouldn't, right? Like some of that stuff, almost just a web page kind of set up to start that process.
Yeah, or QR codes on the pamphlet
Yeah.
Yeah.
website.
Yep. Things that,
Are there maps out there now that you could, is there a way to map out trails there?
Yeah, so at Birmingham, I think there's maps there. And then there's the natural surface trail at Bell.
Mhm.
So if we created like booklets or scavenger hunts, we could leave those posted at the trailheads.
but even there's,
Providence.
I do a decent amount of hiking when we go out. There's certain things that you can look for that kind of help guide the trail. And I will say that I get lost quite a bit. Even as
Did you
this-
mention Providence?
Well, we have Providence Park too, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we've got,
And you will have,
Large
you'll have
parks.
MCC at some point, so.
So like the program in Dekalb, so it's self-guided. Once you accomplish all the various tasks sort of thing,
Mhm.
they would communicate with someone, staff, yourself, presumably, right?
Mhm.
And then they would be awarded their badge or certificate to some nature, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it boiled down. Specifically, Dekalb County, they have, I think it's Arabia Mountain, and they have their separate ranger. So they have a environmental education center under the Parks Department in Dekalb County,
Huh.
and they have a ranger on staff. So that would be kind of more of a
maybe we could even,
Enter.
bring them, once they finish it, we can bring them to this board or council.
Yeah, well, that was, I think it's just, even if it was once a month or, once a quarter or whatever, once you've completed it, there's a meeting in front of council and you get your badge and, it's made a big deal. Similar to what we
Yeah.
would do if a football team, right? We've honored them at board meetings.
I
And
was thinking council or even at like a fire station, you did like a pizza party. Like if these are young children, like how cool would that be? Like have the fire chief, right, award you your badge or something. Play on the fire truck and eat some pizza. I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah.
some sort of commemorization of,
That they
yeah,
did it.
well
Yep.
done. I like that. It's a great idea.
So do we, I like the ideas. Do we need a motion to proceed? Do we need,
Yeah,
Or-
let's get a motion.
Okay.
And then,
So I guess we'll take motion to move forward with the self-serve, right? And continue to expand our park ranger natural resources programming. Is that something like that?
Was that the motion or you're looking
No,
for a
no,
motion?
I'm looking for a motion. I
Okay.
believe, I don't believe I can make one. I was just offering.
What he said. I'll make a motion to proceed forward with the junior park program as described through the self-guided option at the recommendation of Emily. I think I said that right.
Yes.
Second
I'll
that,
take a motion by Phil,
second that.
a second by Jamie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie.
Jamie, how quick can we like,
Or,
how quickly could we put that in motion?
Emily.
That could be, it just depends on kind of what materials we want to use. Whether if it's something that's posted on the city website, that's more, graphic design and creating something that's got links and things. That's not really my wheelhouse. But the content is, I can provide the content. It would just kind of depend on, if we go paper and just posting pamphlets in boxes, that would be the soonest route. But making it more interactive on devices, that would be a little bit more of a project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe just starting with the framework too, right? What can the program look like? Who would we engage?
Yeah, so it can be different classes focusing
Sure.
on like plants, trails,
Sure.
outdoor safety, or it
Yep.
can be kind of a more all-encompassing. It can be scavenger hunt. It can be, complete.
So this does become more work for someone here. Right. You're okay with that?
Yeah, no, I would love it. Yeah.
So I like this idea. The idea, the motion is to move forward, but we're saying move forward with really what you guys know more about than we do. So it's real, I'm sure you'll come up with something at some point that,
yes. And to answer your question, Mr. Kramer, I think next 2 to 3 months, we could probably at least have the framework ready to go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
New business. A new art programming.
All right, Mr. Vice Chair, we do have 3 programs that we've been approached by recently. And we have had some early discussions with all of them. Mr. Rhodes has definitely had more conversation than I have. So I believe it'd be more appropriate for Thomas to give you the 5,000 foot view of 1,000 foot of what they've discussed. We're still rather early on in those discussions, but we thought we'd bring them to you prior to them coming and actually presenting it in case you thought, in case this board thought, any of them might have a hiccup along the way.
are you
So
saying three?
there's 3 listed here, but we'll hit them one at a time.
Okay,
3 programs.
got it. Not 3 arts programs, these 3. Oh, got it. Perfect.
Yes,
Got it.
the three new business items here, but we will attack them one at a time, but I
Okay.
just wanted to clarify.
Excellent. Thomas, you're up.
Yes, thank you. So we will start with our potential arts programming. We were approached by Kid Create Studio. Mrs. Rocio Valle Geraldo contacted me directly. Searched our website up and down, noticed that we have currently no arts being offered from the city, which is true. We don't have any arts, as I know we refer to all of our arts under that category, but this is arts as far as, painting, drawing, pottery, classes like that. So she did her research, approached me, brought to me a list of her offerings and what she could potentially do as a program provider for the city. I think it all sounds, very interesting. Kid Create Studio is based out of Johns Creek, but Mrs. Giraldo is a Milton resident. So that's first and foremost why she wanted to bring this program and, discuss the possibilities with the city of Milton. She's obviously done her research and she's reaching out to other municipalities and, trying to grow her business, which I commend her on. She was very prepared for, introducing me to what Kid Create does. She opened up shop, her studio last year in COVID, and found some great success. So, I think that says definitely a lot for her. But she really fits the mold of what we do with our programs in general, as far as registration-based classes. So, for example, she offers, not even she, just our programs in general offer X amount of classes for X amount of dollars, and she fits that mold perfectly. She gave me endless options, and I'd just like to kind of give you guys a rundown of what she could bring to the table. She starts anywhere from 18 months as far as age groups, 18 months to 12 years old for youth classes. She does anything from an art date with parents where the parents can stick around, be involved. They obviously have an instructor, a couple instructors on site showing, how to create the project, what to do step by step. She's also presented a mommy time off class is how she referred to it, as with, certain age students can get dropped off where they're in the care of our program provider. So it's mommy's time off. They can, go about their day, for 45 minutes to an hour to 2 hours. As far as, her different offerings, she is very flexible as far as, what she would like to introduce to the city. So she's, like I said, very interested in doing multiple things. She's brought summer camps as another option. She says she can do 3, 4, 5 days a week and up to 3 hours for those summer camps.
Tom, so what venue is she operating out of, or would she operate out of in Milton?
So what I would recommend to her is probably Bethwell Community Center, as it's a little more open than our community place here on site at City Hall here. But I think that Bethwell would probably be her best bet because there is tables and chairs, and we've discussed already, the floors. Obviously, this is just a brief discussion between management and myself, just to how to keep, potential arts and crafts off of, our facility floors and stuff. But I think Bethwell would be probably her best bet for any kind of arts classes. Tom, I think you would agree to that.
I do.
But she's come with a long list of things. She's very enthusiastic. She had some great stuff to share. She wants to be part of the city. And that's why, I told her I would take everything, she's provided me with, introduce it to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. And what I'm really looking for is, I can only introduce, the board to her concept. I can't, sell you on it. That's why I'd like to kind of leave it in your hands as far as a recommendation, as far as bringing, somebody to the meeting, as far as Mr. Aldo, to really introduce you guys to Kid Create Studio. So
you mean having her come in and give a presentation? Is
I
what
think
you-
that would, sometime in the future, I think that would be best, whether that was, as soon as a month or as soon as,
Yeah.
Maybe we just.
I would
need
absolutely think that's
up to
appropriate.
discussion. Like I said, we don't have an art class right now, but it is something that we have strived for as a department.
Yeah.
And, I'd
Yeah.
kind of like to leave it in your guys' hands as far as any guidance or any recommendations.
I would
Yeah,
say I'm
That's
here
where I
for it.
stand.
Like,
So,
yeah.
Tom, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, you asked about facilities. We do have Bethwell Community Center. It's a vinyl floor in there. So if something spills, community place, Doesn't really fit the bill for art.
Yeah.
Unless it's, theater art or photography, those kinds of arts. But as far as your pottery and drawing, or not drawing, I guess, but, those messier arts and crafts where there's glitter everywhere and stuff, it fits the bill more over at Bethwell, or once the former Milton Country Club inside is finished, we will have an arts room there.
Yeah.
So we do have a couple of spots, but right now it would be Bethwell.
And we got the capacity there, right?
We do. I think we can safely probably house, if you will, at least 12 to 15 participants spread out. With
Yeah, and
current considerations, COVID considerations.
yeah,
right now.
and there's space to program out of there too. I
Yeah.
think that was your question, right? Do we have room to
Availability,
add
yeah,
another
availability,
program there?
yeah.
Yeah, so she would, a potential program. Obviously, we have programs functioning out of that facility right now.
Yeah.
So it'd be something where, the department would give her the availability, and,
Yeah.
she would work from there,
Okay.
or any program would work from there, so.
Let's
But
bring
yes,
her in.
bring her in.
there are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Thomas, you actually did a good job, not necessarily selling, but you definitely sold us on we want to hear about it, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, you expressed the need. I mean, there's definitely a need here, and I think that's fantastic. Is she interested in coming to the meeting?
I told her, obviously she knows that I'm interested as far as a program supervisor for the Parks and Rec department. But I told her the first step was bringing attention to the board.
Yeah.
So she was excited, thrilled, and I think she's going to be waiting for an email from me tomorrow. So.
Well, this is exciting. We definitely want to hear more about her time frame of like programming. Is it a 5-week course? Is it, that kind of stuff? And so, yeah, this is, I'd love to see it.
Again, excuse my lack
So
of
do we
knowledge.
want to call it a recommendation, Tom? Is that what we want to? So a motion to recommend or just a recommendation?
I think we can just maybe table it.
Put it in unfinished businesses. We'll bring her in.
Okay.
Excellent.
That might be the theme of my next two then. But Tom, if you'd like me to continue, I'd,
Please.
be happy to speak about our next topic.
So real
So-
quick, we're just tabling for,
It'll go under.
Come in and
Yeah, it'll go
present.
under
Keep it as
unfinished
unfinished
business
business.
right.
for next week until she comes in,
Perfect.
or until next month, or whatever month we can schedule her in.
Sure. So that brings us to point B in our new business, our potential fitness programming, titled Grindstone Fitness. They approached the city. Well, actually, excuse me. If you recall, we did have something in the works with Uniquely Fit. Our previous provider, it never came to substance as she moved states. So our provider that was actually gonna be offering classes recommended this group, Grindstone Fitness.
The one that came and presented to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. Her name was Haley Poinsett.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
like
she
her.
she got a better opportunity, moved out of state, and she recommended this group to kind of fill her void, if you will, or at least provide us, with a contact, as she departed from.
So hers never got up and running?
So it never got up and running. It was, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like the day before it was going to be signed off by city council. And we pulled the contract because she notified us that, hey, guys, got another opportunity. I'm going to
Gotcha.
be leaving Georgia. So, but she recommended
She's
this
from
group.
Texas originally, wasn't she? Or
Yeah,
didn't
she
had
went
come
back to
from
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
And
She went back, got a great opportunity. So, hate to see her go before it even got off the ground. But, obviously we're very happy for her.
How do you remember that?
I remember the presentation. She did a good job.
Yeah.
You did.
Definitely. But she recommended this group. Gentleman, Jason Wong, contacted me of Grindstone Fitness. Him and another gentleman are kind of heading up the process. They have multiple trainers in, I guess, their repertoire, if you will, 20 years plus experience between just those two. They're kind of willing to bring anything that we would like onto the table if they can't exactly instruct or coach themselves, they're not shy to ask for help from, their contacts. But they were, one of them is a Milton resident as well, and, is just looking to be a part of something and obviously, grow his business. They actually currently train athletes in some of our city programs. They mentioned Eagle Sticks before I could even mention, some of what we have going on. And some of those might be like private lessons and stuff, but they certainly are familiar with what the city offers as far as athletics. I know they mentioned they have a reputation. They go out as far as, doing sessions with the kids in different neighborhoods and different businesses they reach out to. Kind of, they're like anybody else. They're out there grinding, finding their customers. They gave me kind of a little rundown of what they'd like to start off by offering, which is what I always ask people, potential program providers. If you started tomorrow, what would be 3 things you could do or want to bring to the table? And their examples, very similar to Uniquely Fit, which got pulled, was a boot camp for adults. Obviously, boot camp means a hardcore workout session, if you will. I think you guys kind of have an idea of what a boot camp would be. They like to do high intensity interval training, also known as HIIT. That's probably for more advanced athletes, adults, and then just something as simple as aerobic conditioning for maybe like a slower pace course or class, if you will. And then they even gave me some future plans that they'd like to do. They want to get the youth involved and make sure, they cater to not only adults, but, our younger kids as well. Talked about speed and agility, talked about conditioning training, sport-specific training. They've got, guys and girls that, know what it takes to be a lacrosse player or a football player or, a baseball player. Whichever way you can think of it, they have somebody that is, at least knowledgeable enough to really hit on those specifics. And then they talked about doing fun stuff like spring and summer camp, where it's not all about let's get better. Let's have fun. Let's get better and have fun. Not that anything they're doing is not fun. I don't want it to
Yeah.
sound like that, but
Hey, Tom, same question. From
Sure.
a venue perspective, if there's any indoor activities, or I should make that a question. Is there indoor activity associated with this?
so there's potential for probably some of that slower aerobic conditioning, stretching kind of classes, depending on who they cater to. But I think these coaches and instructors would rather be hidden pavement and dirt or an empty parking lot.
Gotcha.
Or, we discussed them advertising classes, during sport practice sessions at Bell Park. So their audience is already there instead of sitting around, watching these practices.
Interesting
As far
concept.
as far as the parents and stuff,
Hmm.
they pull them aside while, their son or daughter is practicing, and they get their own, practice or session in, if you will.
Do you
So,
know if they've approached any of the baseball, lacrosse, football, any programs?
they haven't approached anyone to my knowledge as far as, from
I was thinking of the marketing.
I guess a
standpoint.
city standpoint. Obviously they're just their own separate entity right now, but they have a following,
Oh, they
from
do,
what I
yeah.
understand. But we haven't obviously advertised that, hey, go out at this time or
Yeah.
do this, but they want to be a part of the city and came recommended. So I told them I'd bring their idea, bring their brand, bring their concept to the board. And then, it was also mentioned that they, have interest in getting involved with the city from a city staff standpoint here for, whatever they could do for, our guys and girls that work here every day. So,
Mhm.
Like a wellness program.
yeah,
think
wellness.
you
I
guys
was
need
looking.
it.
I was looking for the word. Thank you.
You guys need a wellness.
Do they want to be a program provider for the park rangers, junior park rangers? Is that within scope?
Possibilities.
So
are
I say we
endless.
hear them out.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely. I
nothing
think
there
that-
with-
Much to
they're-
what you
they're-
said before, tabling this to hear them, get them to
Yeah.
come in and give us a I'm
Absolutely.
sure we're going to have a lot of questions for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
This is,
that's-
this is what, like a weekly thing that they would do for,
So it's very similar.
weeks?
Yeah, very similar to all our other programs. Just as I was talking about art, we do registration-based classes. So we highly encourage them to create a class for X amount of weeks for X amount of dollars. Just plain and simple. You offer your class 1 day a week for 6 weeks and charge, 6 is just a random number. That's just an example for X amount of dollars. And that is the kind of cleanest thing that is really encouraged by the department. That's how they're going to gain a following and gain, repeat customers, in my opinion. If it gets too, I don't want to say messy, but if they start trying to offer, one-off classes here and there, it's just not
How-
as easy.
how does
It's not as
their-
easy to keep track of, if you will.
Yeah.
Um,
how does what they've already kind of talked to you about generally compare to what, I guess, Haley had,
Unique fitness.
yeah, Unique Fitness had brought to the table?
Very
Mhm.
similar, I would say. I got to
We'll
I
get
got
more.
to get to know our previous provider before she pulled out, and she was going to be able to probably provide a lot of the different stuff. This newer group is going to have multiple folks, but they're all instructors. They're all qualified. It just wouldn't probably be classes from the same person. So you would see Jason if you signed up for this. You would see Joey if you signed up for this. You would see
Which is how it is.
Yeah, it's how it
Anyways.
is.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep bringing up, our original provider, but it was.
Well, it sounds like it
She
went
was unique
pretty
in
far.
that she could
so-
do a lot of different things.
She
She,
could,
she,
she could.
she was unique in that standpoint.
She was a Swiss Army knife. She could do
Yes.
yoga, Zumba, boot camps, training for kids.
Speed and agility.
Yeah, she could do.
Maybe we should look for someone else also, not just who came to us, but we could reach out and just see, are there some interesting folks out there?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so let's bring them in, certainly.
Well, I'm definitely agreeable, to tabling it like we discussed and, invite them to come in the next, meeting or a month from now, 2 months from now, whatever it is. So I'm on board with that.
Excellent.
So our next point C here is a potential adult athletic program. It's the Ultimate Flag Football League. This is another group that approached me. Obviously, they know a little bit about Milton. They have a contact here. It's originally a California-based program or league. Very well known. I didn't want to, show you guys videos and stuff like that, but it is an adult flag football league. It is competitive. There are different tiers to it. There's, simply put, a beginner, an intermediate, and a high level league is how it's expressed to me. They, like I said, they have a contact here. I don't necessarily know if it's directly in the city of Milton. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're very close by, and they obviously fell in love with Bell Park when they discovered it.
I think he was a Milton
Was he
resident.
Milton? Yeah, I
believe
think he
so.
was in. But yeah, they, saw Bell Park, fell in love with it, realized that we did have flag football. NFL does not offer adult flag football, so there would be, I did my due diligence and check with NFL just before I continued conversation with these folks. They have no interest in offering an adult flag football league. But yeah, they fell in love with the park. Like I said, they're California based. They spread out to Nevada, Texas, very competitive league.
So are we talking about a
Mainly-
league or are we talking about team?
So they kind of put the ball in my court, if you will. Discussion started out as, you guys don't have this, we could provide this. And
Mhm.
then it turned out to, maybe the league route or the program provider route is not the right route. Could we possibly do a field rental instead? So we've got some different options, but you know, they're interested in our space, and
Are they only interested in Bell, or are they interested in any field?
so they're interested in turf.
Right.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, the only reason I
Are they
ask is
still
because
interested in
They're,
making it
they're,
at
a Sun-
9:15
they're a
at night?
Sunday sport. They're a Sunday sport.
right.
Okay.
They would be looking at Sunday evenings. What we could provide them obviously would be limited with our current, youth, and
Mhm.
we do have one adult program as well, soccer, rush soccer, that uses Bell when it's, available. They're kind of open to anything. It's just basically a very open discussion with them right now. It's
Mhm.
not, I can promise you this, I can promise you that.
Yeah.
It's we'll hear you out. And it's another one I just wanted to bring to the table.
Yeah.
And
It's
Jack, my mem-
expressed interest in the city of Milton. I said, guys, you really got people that are gonna flock to this league in the city, and they say, not only do we have people that are come, but there's gonna be Milton residents. And talk is talk, I guess you could say, but our rush league is doing great. And while those aren't all Milton residents, there's a good chunk of them that actually are Milton residents. So I know we want to, keep our fields to, our residents, but I told them I'd introduce their league. They want to come here. If they don't go here, they might go somewhere else. I know there's talks about the potential for Cox Road, and what could be over there. That could be
Yep.
a home for them. It couldn't be a home for them. Who knows? But it's another one that I just wanted to bring to the board's attention,
Right.
to let you know. There's
Didn't
also
we go down the
also-
path with, didn't the Milton Steelers want to do some adult flag football?
They did, but they never offered it.
So we never got it off the ground. Okay.
Didn't.
I didn't know. I know it never happened. I didn't
Right.
know if it,
No, we never
if
got
we
it.
ever ended up offering it and it just didn't go, or.
I think
never-
the contract
We got it. It was
dissolved
going to be
when-
the next year.
before we were going to do, it was going to be the next year. Then it was, I think it was going to be in the spring. if I
Oh, that's
remember.
right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know
Yeah.
we went down that path.
Yeah. Joey, you asked a question and I didn't quite understand. You said team or league?
Well, so we've been doing flag football for years. I mean, this isn't the first time concept. They've been doing these 5, 7s, depends on the league. And then they end up having like national championships. I think one was in RFK Stadium, and that's how old we're talking about. But a lot of times there were you had teams that were made up. And then you had a league that was in Atlanta. It was an Atlanta league. So I'm curious if this is teams that will be utilizing space, or are they trying to have a Milton league specific, much like, we have currently football flag league?
So Tom, correct me if I'm wrong here from your understanding. I know you sat in on one meeting that I did have with this group. They would want to form, I think they're going to have their league no matter what, whether we rent the space, don't provide the space, or potentially team up with them, which I don't know if that's
Got it.
the correct route. It exists.
So
This
they're
league
targeting
exists.
a league. for
This is
area.
a high functioning league that is out there. That is, like I said, California to Nevada to Texas.
Right.
Got
They
it.
wanna
my
bring it-
question-
So if I understand, they're targeting a league for North Fulton, right? They're
Yeah,
reaching
where they
out
would-
to
they would
probably
have-
Milton
it
and
wouldn't
Alpharetta
be-
and everybody else in
from my-
Roswell to
yeah.
figure out where they can get fields. They're willing to open up and partner and give a cut here or to rent fields. They're just looking to where they're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Or we rent them the space
Yeah, I get it.
or don't.
Probably
Um,
depends on the registration they get to.
Yeah, so I
If
don't
you
know.
only get
It's
3
just-
teams.
And
They
they're-
better hope they have more fields somewhere else.
I think this group is in the same boat as the others. I can't, root for them or against them. All I can do is tell you how my couple meetings went. And
Right.
if the board is interested in hearing them out further,
Definitely love to hear them out.
Yeah. I think
I just want to be, one concern I have is any sport, lacrosse, football, baseball, kickball, if we had kickball, we only want turf fields. I mean, I appreciate that they're being honest, but we have to be open to using any fields.
Mhm.
We all do. So I just want to make sure that whatever the situation is, if we have space, you guys know whether we will or will not at some point, if Cox Road opens up, hope it does. And if it's a Sunday league, just like the cricket, are we still doing cricket?
Yes.
You know, if it works out, great, no problem there. I just want to make sure that we're also not putting ourselves in a situation where every sport is trying to get on turf. We talk about this every day almost, so.
Exactly. And as far as, I think, you would be on the same page with me, Tom, that while our space is limited, we wouldn't consider bringing in any new program, adult, youth, or anything if the space isn't there, it's just
Right.
not there. So we're obviously in full support
Yeah.
of what we have existing and running day to day now. So it's not something we would try and cram in just for the sake of having another program.
I would say let's table them and bring them in,
Yeah, I agree.
hear them out.
They're California based, so that would be they would come in, but they would be
Yeah, Zoom.
on
Via
video.
Zoom, yeah.
That's fine. They don't need
Is-
to sit here. We've learned Zoom
we'll
works pretty
find
well.
Just a question. So is there a downside risk to a league versus a Milton-based provider? I'm just trying to get my mind around the implications
So
of
I
like,
can tell you, and I'm sure this is why we need a presentation to talk to them directly, but the way it used to work is Atlanta had a league. Well, some people like Roswell had a group, and the winner of the Roswell group would then play the winner of, and you had all these different, and then the end result, you were a part of a national program that then eventually went to, and at the time it was in DC, you went to DC and played a, national tournament with adults. It was all adults, and it was either 5s or 7s, I believe. Co-ed, most of them were co-ed.
There's adult baseball, softball leagues that
Correct.
do the
Same
same
thing.
thing.
Same
right?
thing.
Like
Exactly the same thing.
They're,
No different than the Little League World Series, right?
They even
For
have kickball.
kids, right? You win your league, you go to the next regional one, you do state of Georgia, there's probably a Southeast region where there's 15 teams and
Right.
eventually they get whatever number of teams to,
They do something very similar to that at their highest level.
so it's just there's adult softball, baseball.
so
leagues,
it's
same
still,
thing.
it really still is like a Milton provider, but if you do well, you would go play
Correct.
somewhere else eventually, maybe, sort of thing.
Well, my
Potentially.
guess is they'd play not just Milton teams. They're already got teams available. They're, right? This isn't, even though that would be a Milton provider for an adult.
That's what we gotta find out. To your
Right.
point, are they
Yeah,
looking to have a
so-
couple teams here, or are they looking to run a full league of 8 or 10 teams out of our park, right? As opposed
Right.
to maybe have 3 that are practicing and have some home games, right?
Right.
Probably
Yeah,
different field
they came at it
requirements.
in a couple different directions. Like I said, I think if being a provider would get them on the field, they would be open to that. If just renting the space would get them on the field, they would be open to that as well.
Right.
And I did look into our field rental agreement. We are allowed to rent to other leagues. Is that correct?
As long as they don't compete.
As long as they're not
Competing
competing.
with a
Didn't we
program.
initially look at that? If they were coming at it from a rental standpoint and
They could rent,
were,
they could rent the fields. Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they're,
It's worth listening to them.
they fell in love with Bill. What can I say? So.
Worth listening to them. All right.
But I will certainly reach out to all 3, Kid Create Studio, Grindstone, and the Ultimate Flag Football League,
Excellent.
and invite them to.
They should all be very proud of you tonight.
Yeah, you did an
Yes.
excellent job for
You did a
them.
nice job presenting all that. So
Thank you.
very well articulated. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Staff reports.
All right, Mr. Vice Chairman of the Parks and Rec Board. First up, item A, we have the Providence Park projects. I'll make these brief but concise. We have the bid on the street for all the Providence Park work. It will be coming in next Friday.
Excellent.
We should get all the bids in. I know it's this month. And from there, we're going to be moving forward. We've got deadlines on the grants that we have on all these projects.
What is the final deadline? Do we have a final?
The restroom at Providence is the end of September.
Mhm.
And then the trails and the pier are the end of the year, December 31st.
Okay.
So
Only
Wait, a
21 's
restroom
done.
at Providence, like a real, not a
A
portable?
real one,
You saying this is doable? Yes,
yes.
that's good.
Did,
I love that.
what did we ever decide on that ADA playground proposal?
Yeah.
The all-inclusive playground?
Yes.
MCC was a location for one point?
Yeah, it's at at another level now.
Okay, because they were going to fund it.
What's that?
They were offering to fund it, weren't they? Bringing it to us.
Yes, they were. They were.
So it's still a possibility? Or
It
not at
is.
the moment?
It is still a possibility for the future.
Okay.
The next item is, oh, yes, but yes, we'll have restrooms. There's gonna be men's and women's, and it'll be right at the entranceway. Real nice structure.
Is the park open right now?
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah,
okay.
the park's open, yeah.
Aren't they doing a cleanup right now? Doing signs or working with the equestrian committee?
That would probably be Birmingham Park.
Oh, Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham, the trails are being remarked.
Are you going to keep the nice benches we cross painted out there a couple years ago?
What, at Providence? Yeah, as part of the bid, it's if the trail moves away from a bench, they are to be relocated. So those benches will still be there.
Has anybody painted them since us?
I don't believe so.
By us, do you mean us?
No, so Cambridge Youth does,
What am I in for?
they do, we do,
Jason has the Cambridge Boys and Girls Lacrosse.
they do a community service project every year. And so one year we painted those and we've done some mulch out at Bell and so bringing that up, we did some painting at the benches there. We're ready to refresh them if you need.
Anybody still taking that sign near the lake and chucking it?
No,
Okay,
not lately.
good.
I think the guys buried that pretty deep and put some extra cement in there.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
than
did.
Last time they
Yes,
did
they
it.
did. The next item on the list is the former Milton Country Club. The design is complete. We have the full package. It's about to go out to bid for the clubhouse renovation. So next month after that, I should have a lot more for you, but the design is now complete, which is
A big part, excellent.
Now,
first big step.
did we go through any kind of stakeholder things with those, like neighborhood, you talk about design, did we get input from the neighborhoods and
Well, we have a master plan.
we have a
for
master, right?
that, and the master plan for the former Milton Country Club included the building.
Okay.
So yes, there was
Yeah.
a lot of
I-
public input.
No, I think I saw in the paper something about the trails are going out to bid as well?
Yes, they already are.
They already are.
Tom, I should know this, but what is the intent of the country club? Is that going to facilitate adult programming? What will we do? What's the intended purpose of the country club?
All inside programming, really. There's going to be an art room, there's going to be another multi-purpose room, and we'll be able to host all of our programming that's currently going on at Bethwell. It'd be another location they could utilize.
Can you share with us at one point the blueprint of it?
Sure.
That'd be great. I have no idea what it looks like.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Did we get any, remember we were talking about expansion of the pool? Was that added? Was that approved? I don't
The
remember.
expansion of the pool is, yeah, there's a concept C, I believe
Yeah.
is what they call it, and it's got, there's some expansion to the pool.
Okay.
Slide and
Yeah.
bigger.
Awesome.
Camp Joyful Souls. Want to take it? You want me to? It don't matter to me. We're moving along with Camp Joyful Souls. We did lose our camp manager. In fact, her last day was today. So she was, for Jamie, well, actually, all of the board. Typically, in previous years, I would do all the preparation for camp, and then I would essentially hand the camp over to my camp staff to run it. Last year was our first year where we created a new position, or reclassified a position, I should say, to camp manager, where her name was Kirsten. She would do all the preparation that I did, set up all the visitors and all the field trips, and communication with parents back and forth on things. So for the time being, we're going back to the old school method of staff handling things. But I will say publicly here, she did a fantastic job getting things ready to go, and there's very little left for us to do, which is fantastic. We have weeks of camp that have 22 out of the 25 slots filled already. And I think the lowest week is like 19. Am I correct?
I think I think that's correct. And Kirsten did estimate that they'd be filled up
Oh, yeah.
probably
Oh,
within
yeah.
the next couple weeks.
By camp start, we'll have all the weeks full is my prediction.
Excellent.
And every week will be filled. If not, then the new families that come find out what the camp is, and then they sign up for more weeks once they see it. So either way, I'm expecting a full camp this summer.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yes, yes. The last item is the Milton Pool update. Thomas mentioned most of that earlier. The pool was uncovered, and we got chemicals going through it. It's getting cleaned. Looks good. The small wading pool is still covered at this time, but we're geared up to open. Dynamo's ready to roll for this summer.
I
The
don't
weather
remember.
alerts ever get installed? The new
sorry?
lightning weather alert,
Yes.
that's
All-
installed, that's done?
The lightning detection system at the club was the first one we put in last year.
Oh, that was the
So,
first one.
so that was
Oh,
the first one, and then we installed two more one at Bell, one at Cox Road.
And we did away with
Brand.
the food, right?
Yes.
Concessions.
At the pool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still going to be, was it $5 a day,
Correct.
right? And
Yeah,
then what
all
was
all the pricing's the same.
what was the season? I don't remember.
For a family of four, it was 200,
Okay.
and then each additional member of the family was 50 more.
Okay.
And then we have a senior pass that's $55.
Lifeguard on? No? Yay? Lifeguard?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Then we have an individual pass too,
We do.
75.
I believe it's 75.
That's all I have, Mr. Vice Chair.
Excellent. Anything else? Any other business?
I wanted to mention a wonderful resident in Milton. Isn't really relevant to Parks and Rec exactly, but so my dear friend Kirsten Musinich, I don't know if you guys saw the story about the horses that were on Highway 400. So she was the one that, so one of the horses was hers,
Oh, wow.
Taylor, and Amir was the other horse, and there was a trailer, and the trailer tipped over, and the horses got out, ran along the Georgia 400. My friend stopped traffic, basically, and her daughter Ava Miller were able to go and kind of retrieve one of the horses, and they were able to get some help going after Amir, who was running down the highway. So I just thought I would mention that because it's a pretty amazing story. She's a bit traumatized after the fact.
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the horses are doing great. They're getting like, I don't know, acupuncture, acupressure, all kinds of therapy. It's crazy.
It's,
They weren't
I was
injured,
wondering
though.
about that. I was actually curious what happened. I think I just mentioned it to you guys about that, right? Didn't
Yeah.
you say something?
Yeah,
But
when Tim was here.
Yeah, because
You did.
it stopped traffic pretty good. My
Yeah.
business partner lives up in Cumming,
Oh, yeah.
and she's
Well,
like,
people
"What
are
is
still
going
trying
on?"
to drive.
And they
down the
passed, and I guess
highway.
your two
Right.
friends were on this highway. They'd caught one of the horses.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, they caught Amir.
yeah.
So it was amazing though, because there were no injuries. I mean, no car accidents, no people injured, horses, just
Yeah.
a little bruised and beat up. Actually, Amir had a little bit more damage, but he's okay.
Well, it's good to hear that. Yeah,
So it's pretty cool.
Thanks for
Milton
sharing.
resident.
yeah.
I'm glad everybody's okay.
Yeah, me too.
That's scary.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion by Joey,
Second?
second by Phil. All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. We will call that a wrap. 7:50 something.